I will make a presentation about the Seine River quality restoration and the new stakes that's been raised recently. So first, before going into the topics, just a few words about the SIAAP, which is a public utility for the sanitation of the Greater Paris. And we treat the water for 9 million inhabitants. We have 6 wastewater treatment plants. And we are in charge of the final transport of the sewage, but not of the collection. Just a few words about the Seine district related to the Water Framework Directive. So you have the map of the Seine River district and the place of the central Paris region where we are settled and where we are operating. Just a few words of the Seine River in Paris. It's a big urban area on a small river, so it means that there is a large entropic pressure onto the river. And we are wondering what will happen in the future with climate change. We know that the flow will be lower, but the population will increase, so the difficulties will be to manage or to keep the Seine River into the good quality. So just a few slides to go backward. You know, maybe these paintings from the Impressionists, and they produced or delivered nice paintings that gives you the feeling that Seine River is good and nice, but the truth is really different. That is reports from the Ministry of the Civil Works, and the description of the Seine River. The first painting was sitting there and the second one was there. So it is just downstream where all the sewage from Paris was discharged into the Seine River. And it was described as a disgusting water with active fermentation and back-fetid slimes at the bottom. And also the reaction of the neighborhood was to ask to the capital of France that to give satisfaction to the just grievance of its suburb and neighbors. So that was not so nice. And the time were going on, and that is some pictures of the Seine River in the 1960s with a lot of problem with detergent foam, and that is one maybe of the first action at source control to be mandatory to have detergents with biodegradation rates upper than 99%. That is one of the reasons. And after some improvements, we had a second problem with CSO discharges with a lot of fish kills during the 1990s. So a lot of problems at that time. And because of this problem of pollution, so the regulation has been raised and improved in order to improve the water quality. And the first water law in 1964 set up an integrated water resource management by catchments. That was a huge change. No related to administrative boundaries, but to river boundaries. And they raise also a water agency which gives financial support. Among all the regulation, I have also selected the Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive, which drive to a huge improvement of the water quality. And the second water law who developed water development and management plan, which helped to improve the water management policy. And of course, last but not least, the Water Framework Directive. So with all of this frame of bad quality of the river, regulation, as many cities in the world, we've implemented treatment facility in order first to meet the sewage production. That was the first step. And meanwhile, we also improved the technology of treatment, but that was non-nature-based solution because we had to tackle urban density, big pollution production, and the only way to manage that was a classical treatment plant. The result of that, I took the example of the ammonia because this is one of the key factors for the fishing lives. And that is the result that we obtained between 1997 and today, a reduction of the load of nitrogen, ammonia nitrogen, by 97%. But is this drive us close to the good status of the Water Framework Directive? So it's normal, you reduce the load and then you have the result. And now we are really close to the good status, but we have some improvements to do to achieve this goal. The other way to assess the result of the Seine River quality management is to see what's happened with the fishes. And these are the monitoring of fish number of species and the number itself. And you can see that at the beginning of the 70s, there was only roughly 5 different species of fishes. And you can see that this is the current number of fishes each year, and that is the total number of species. So you can see that there is an improvement if the number of species and the number of fishes caught each year. And one of the iconic images is the comeback of the salmon. The first time we saw the salmon, it was in 28, and then we currently catch salmons. Fishermen catch salmons, but they are blocked just downstream Paris. And one of the reasons that we don't have any more progression in the number is due to the fact that Seine River is really an artificial river. So what we have to improve now in order to have more different kind of species is first to facilitate to enhance the migration of the salmonidae with dams, and also to improve the habitat. So that is part of the nature-based solution in order to improve the biodiversity, is to work onto the habitat of the Seine River banks. And as professional, as working in sanitation and see what's happened in the Seine River, we know that the quality is better and we have hugely improved the water quality. But when you ask the people, to the general public, how do they feel about the water quality, for them it is still polluted. You can't imagine to go for swimming, for example, into the Seine River. So the question is how to meet the expectation of the general public. And then with the appliance for Paris City to the Olympic, we raised the proposal to make the Seine River swimmable. So that is a new stake, in fact, because it's a huge change in the objectives to make the Seine River swimmable. So it was swimmable, but without the same regulation in the past time. We have improved the Seine River quality, so it looks nice. It's an iconic place. And so I spoke about the Olympics. So we are now working on the Olympic for 2024. And one of the points of the file of the appliance was after the Olympics, the Seine River will still stay swimmable for the Seine River itself and one of its tributary. So we are working to achieve this goal first for the Olympic in 2024, but the most difficult thing is to keep the Seine River swimmable after. So there are a lot of things to do. First, we have to disinfect treatment plants. That's normal things. But we also have to manage the wrong connection to the sewer system. We also have, like you did here in Amsterdam, to connect the housing boats to the sewer system. So this is on the track. But the main problem is about rain event, storm event, stormwater management. And there are one thing to do with combined sewers is to manage the overflow, but the other work in progress is to disconnect stormwater from the sewer system, and that is done with green infrastructures to infiltrate the water into the soil instead of having them to the sewer system. And of course, because water management is quite complex in Paris region, so we've set up an organization under the state authorities. We have set up several working groups, one for the prioritization of the discharge and the works that we have to do, one to work on misconnection, one to work on stormwater management, one to work on boats and floating establishments, knowledge improvement, and a new one which is dedicated to communication. So the development of partnership to work together on this iconic objective is really challenging, but it is also really motivating. And the sanitation, which was going at the bottom of the agenda, is now at the top of the agenda, and then it helps very much to boost the motivation of all the stakeholders in order to improve the water quality. So that is my presentation. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Jean-Pierre. This brings back nice memories on Paris Plage. There will be some questions from the audience. We have some time for questions. Wiegert?
Thank you for your presentation. It's nice to hear that the quality of the Seine is improving so much, but do you have any standards you aim to reach on water quality? For instance, I've seen a slide of you catch about 20 fish species these days, but what is the end goal of your improvement, and how far are you on this ladder?
So for the fish the diversity, we don't have any target for the moment, and that is because we are the public utility for sanitation. We are not in charge of the fish life, but we take care about that, and we follow this because it is the best indicator of our results. But that is the aim of state authorities, but they don't fix targets. I'm sorry, but we have problem on N2O, and we also have a problem with micropollutants. And the French policy for micropollutants is to manage them at source control policy. We are not willing to introduce tertiary treatment to remove these pollutants. We are now just on the target with the at source control. We will see later if we have to change, but that is the track for the moment.
Maybe not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet willing. Are there any other questions? Yes? Our last one, I think, in view of time.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Did I understand correctly that you want to change the riverbanks as well to improve the water quality? Or
so, yes, not in Paris itself, because it's World Heritage of UNESCO, but downstream of Paris, especially where we have our wastewater treatment plant, we have a long, great length of riverbank, and then we modify the bank in order to improve the habitat for fish lives.
Maybe interesting for you to know that here in Amsterdam, where we are, we will be revising 200 kilometers of the walls of the famous canals in a 20-year project, and also there be looking at how can we contribute then to blue and green biodiversity. I would like to invite the people to come a little bit more up front, as we did in before lunchtime. This will be filmed and nice for the people to see your participation. And I want to hand over, thank you very much, once again, Jean-Pierre.
It was a great pleasure. Thank you.